Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Mango's Mobile Madness, and today we are going to be doing a review of Blue Archive. And the goal of this review is, after about 2 weeks I think I've played, just to give you an idea of what to expect, how I liked the launch, the things I really liked, the things I disliked, basically everything you want to / need to know about this game. And I'm going to try to be organized about it. I'm also going to try to have a list of rankings at the end, number wise, of how it performed in each individual area. So we're going to start off just from the beginning, and this is something that's very important to myself and quite a few others in this community, and that is the start of the game. A lot of gacha games, again, let me know in the comments down there if you think I'm missing anything as we do this. Also keep in mind this is opinions, so don't get mad at me if they differ, you know. Or get mad at me and yell at me in the comments, you know, same thing, while you're hitting the like button. So the first thing I really want to rank in games like this is the start / gacha rerolling process. So the first thing a game needs for me to actually be modern and in quotes good right now for rerolling is a way to just reset your account without having to re-download everything. And right now with Blue Archive, you are able to log into the game, just hit reset account and restart everything very, very, very stress-free. You don't have to do any extra options or anything like that. So that is fantastic for people who like re-rolling. Also for people who like re-rolling, the game gives you a 10... Jesus, Mashu. This game gives you... I have to switch to something else. This game gives you a 10 pull right at the start, and it will give you a guaranteed 3-star girl out of everybody, I think, for free at the start. This is a little bit worse than a selective summon where you get to choose between X amount of different pulls. Because with a selective summon, you're able to go in there and get your 3-star you want and go with that. This one, you get a 3-star to start with, but you don't really necessarily get to pick which one. That said, we talked about it earlier, it is really easy to reset. So that is for the bare minimum people who just like to start playing. Like, you don't need to reroll in this game because of that, in my opinion. Next up is the amount of free currency you get right at the start is really big. There's a lot of it, and this will change depending on time and how things go in the future, whether or not they keep sending stuff in the mailbox. But the reroll process after that, if you're somebody who likes to really start with something great, is fantastic as well. I did a video recently on it, and you were getting like something similar to 10 pulls right at the start to go with. And on top of that, you get your original 3-star guaranteed. So the general reroll process in this game, I would rank maybe 9 out of 10. It would be 10 out of 10 if the first 3-star was a selective and you can choose which to start with. So the other thing to mention here are the rates in terms of the gacha. The rates are not very good. So we have a 3-star recruitment rate here. I actually don't even know what the total 3-star rate is. But it is not good. I think it's maybe 2%, maybe 3%. You just don't get very many in this game. The other problem is the pity. So if we take a look at recruitment points here, the pity to get somebody is 200 pulls, which is 24,000 of the pyroxene, which is the premium currency in this game to pull with to be able to purchase somebody. And this resets every single time a banner goes over, so you're not going to be hitting the pity ever as a free-to-play, basically. Even spenders are not really going to hit that pity too much. So that is a big problem. This game mimics Precon Princess Connect's gacha as well, and the reason why I ended up quitting and a lot of others ended up quitting were because we just felt like we didn't get anything from the gacha ever. So that is definitely a downside to this game. That said, they are very generous with pyroxene, the premium currency, and you can get quite a bit of pulls. So overall, that's fantastic. Next up, I want to talk about the characters themselves. We have the students here. There are a bunch of different factions, and this is probably the selling point of this game. The students are all fantastic. There's something for everybody. They're all premium VAs. Unfortunately, there's no English VA, but I'm okay with that, with the amount of voice acting they actually put into this game. That is a fair trade-off for me, you know? If you don't voice a story or anything, you better put English VA as well. But if you do voice a story, I'm fine with you doing the native language of the game. So the characters are fantastic. We have Aru here. We have Hina, Iori, Hibiki, Shiroku. They also separate into 2 different types. There are strikers, which are your main lineup. There are 4 of those in each team. And then specials. Specials are your backup liner that kind of support, and they give stats to your strikers. These are often where you'll find your healers or artillery style, you know, like the mortars in the back. So the other thing is there are 3 different types of attack. So there's the explosive, there's piercing, and then there is mystic as well. And it's kind of the similar sort of like red, blue, green, fire, earth, water style we get in every other game. It's just different. And then on top of that, there are special areas. They have the special terrain if you're into D&D. Like, they have favorite terrain here. So there's like the indoors, there's the outdoors, like the desert type area, and then there is the like city type area. I forget the exact words for them. But basically, it means you have a ton of different options for your units. There are obviously some that are better than others, but in general, you'll be able to find a content where somebody might be better than somebody else because one, they're explosive versus pierce versus mystic, or they are specially good in urban areas or indoor areas or something like that. The other thing too, with the duplicates, you need shards, and you can buy these with currency. And this is pretty decent. It's a good way to improve your units, especially 1 to 2 star units. All of your units can make it to 5 star, even though the guaranteed gacha ones start at 3 star. There's also skill ups here, which you can do for your characters. This is a part I find decently lacking for me because I've been having a hard time really getting these. And if you click on them, it shows you where they get them from, but you really don't get anywhere near enough. I guess this is a long-term goal here. We also have the equipment at the bottom, and it shows their weapon as well. So if we click the level up feature, the equipment is very linear. So each character has 3 different slots they can do, and depending on what armor type and weapon type they are, I think weapon type, they get different things for here, and they do different things as well. There is no RNG whatsoever for this. It is all the same. And as you clear stages, you get different things to upgrade. So to upgrade this piece, Big Brother Fedora, to tier 3 to tier 4, I need 30 of these, which you can farm in these areas here, or on also however many of those. I didn't mean to click that there. So that is one of those things where, you know, it's a very linear progress. If you don't like the RNG aspect of gear, this is perfect for you, but at the same time, it leaves a lot lacking for those of us who like to customize their characters. There's basically 0 customization, and my Aru is going to look like your Aru. And the only difference basically is the level and the quantity of stars over here. And if we take a look at the gear, we see this one has level 10. So we would upgrade this up to tier 2, and then it resets back to level 1, and then we can feed in some XP to gain the stats up again. So that kind of differentiates things a little bit at least. And with the specials, it's the exact same thing here. They get gear, they get skills, they get different types of like what they're good at. And the other really cool part is we have character info here. And this is something I personally really like in games. I like getting to know the characters a little bit more. That said, these are all students, so they are 15 to 17 years old, which is a little bit awkward. And they have tons of different things. Like, for example, let's take a look at oh, these are specials. Let's take a look at some strikers here, like Tsubaki here, with size bajillion breasts there. She is 16 years old, apparently. So, you know, like, this is a little bit frustrating and a little bit awkward, but it is what it is. It is what it is for that type of thing. But I love the characters. They're all fantastic, and they're just super adorable. You can also see which ones you don't have here. And like I said, there's something for everybody. We have Tsurugi here, who is obviously very different than a lot of the other characters here. We have Shun here for, you know, those type of lovers like me. There's all sorts of great characters. It's fantastic. It's the biggest selling point of the game, in my opinion. And the other cool part is there is so much voice and character within these characters. You can set different lobby characters, you can set different animations once you unlock them, and that is just fantastic to me. I don't think I have any of the super special ones yet, but you can get live 2D and other things like that. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the actual gameplay here. And before we get into the gameplay, a lot of people have told me they don't like the way this game looks, but in the option effects, we have graphics here, and you can do low, medium, high, or very high, and then FPS defaults to like medium, I think, and 30. And the game doesn't look good. You can even see on the menus, right? But once you hit very high, 60, and add some other stuff here, the game looks fantastic. All of the characters look brilliant. The chibis in combat look fantastic as well. And this is what I mean by just the atmosphere and the character of the characters, right? Like, this is just the transition screen, but you've got like a character here who teleports around. It's just adorable, right? And they all have voices. It's all fantastic. I really, really, really am a huge fan. So let's go into a story here and talk about the auto and the manual. So I just finished, I'm in chapter 10 right now. So let's do the sub area. I think we can manual this here. And we can see we have the character screens here. And if we go down to lower graphics, let's go to like 30 FPS and medium, which I think is the default. This is what it looks like, right? So I really, really, really recommend turning it on. I don't know why it's not defaulted, because it really makes all the difference in the world here. A lot of stages also take multiple units, so that's another good thing if you like to use more than just your initial 4. So you have a unit with 4 strikers in the middle and then 2 supports at the bottom. You have the same thing here, and you can use unit 3 and unit 4 depending on what type of game mode. So let's just mobilize this, and again, they'll get different bonuses. They'll be better or worse depending on the stage. And we can see my team here. So auto is great. Auto works well. The characters run behind stuff here. You can see them hiding behind cover here, like in the back of the bottom left. I think my head's in the way, but she's hiding behind cover there. And then they use abilities depending on the bottom right. Or we can do it manually here, and we see this one in the middle is our special, so she can toss out mortars. Which is pretty great. And this one is a sniper. You can use her and she just blasts people with a sniper. It's really fantastic, and you can see she was getting resisted there, which means she is not effective versus that armor type. And there's different costs between each. Like this one is Hina, and she has an amazing ultimate, but it costs 7 to use it. Really, really, really fantastic, and they all do different things, and it's random which ones you get at the bottom, but you can kind of force depending. And we have my healer here. She can just toss a heal on here. And the other cool part is, because of how many different students there are and how many different places to use characters in, you can really use any amount of units and any amount of characters in any amount of areas, basically, and use which girls you like and upgrade them with your currency and stuff like that. So it's really good for people who have their waifus and are not really punished by the meta, basically. The other way to battle here is through stages like these. If you've played Azur Lane, it's very similar here. We've got the boss here. We've got 2 start areas, so I'll deploy 2 units for this one. And we've got different things to interact with in the area. There's teleport squares. There's squares that get rid of other squares. There's all sorts of stuff here, and it's just really fun. There's, of course, the hard mode as well, which you can only do a certain amount of times a day, and this helps you farm different characters. You can either farm duplicates to get those star ratings up, or you can farm them for the first time as well. Like, I need to start farming 8-3 because I don't have this character, so I would love to get them there. So that is the PvE side of things. The other thing is, as for upkeep in the game, that is really, really easy. You know, there is basically 0 upkeep in the game. So if you want to watch me do my dailies for the day, this is basically how it goes. So I'll hit the home button here. I'll go to students. I'll go to Iori, for example. I'll go to level up her gear, since that's where most of your stamina is going to go. And I want to upgrade her big brother Fedora because it upgrades her attack. I can see Oh, look, it drops here. So let's go to 10-2. Okay, and it costs 10 stamina per. So what I'm going to do, you don't have to do this part, but it's worth doing at least the 30 regens. Yes, this is premium currency, but you get so much of it, and you kind of need to use it to progress. Also, this account is basically free to play. I've spent like $8, so didn't mean to do that one. I stop at 100 usually. And then we go to here and we just hit sweep. And we hit sweep many, many times. Your power in this game is very, very, very directly related to your account level. And your account level is only gained by the amount of stamina you spend. So if you don't spend much stamina, you're not going to be leveling up your account here. So we'll just sweep it a casual 80 times here. We can see I leveled as well, and you can skip this here. Cool, we got some stuff here, so now I'm gonna do it again. And that is basically how long it takes you to do your daily stamina, which is, you know, it is what it is. There's also 2 other places for PvE content. Once you're done farming that gear, there are the bounties and commissions. Commissions here just give you extra XP and credits, depending on which stage you're farming. And the bounties are daily. This is one of those things that is really heavily influenced by the monthly pack. So if you have the monthly packs, you're able to farm 5 of these a day instead of 2, and it's really going to hinder you without those. But luckily, the monthly packs are rather cheap, and you can skip those as well. Next up, we have Tactical Challenge, which is the PvP. Also, as a side note, I really rank the PvE very highly. I really enjoy the PvE. It's fun, it's animated, it's personalized, it's stylized, it's really easy to auto if all you want to do is auto. It's really easy to manual if you want to have fun. It's really easy to skip if you don't want to play too long. Then we get to the PvP. The PvP is the most frustrating thing in this game for me. I don't fully understand it. I never win. I don't know why I don't win. So for example, we talked about how the level is strictly very, very much tied to the power of your account. You can refresh as many times as you want, and I'm going to refresh until I see somebody that is lower rank than me. I would prefer somebody like rank 34, because at 35 you get to unlock a piece of gear. So you get a power spike at 35, but I don't think I'm going to see it. But there's a 35 here. So he's all level 35s. I'm 38 or 37, I guess. Let's just watch a PvP battle. And it is full auto. I just don't understand it. Maybe some of y'all can help me out here, but everybody I've talked to just hasn't really enjoyed the PvP in this game. It's more frustrating than fun so far. So you cannot do the manual. And I never really figured it out, but my characters die fast and theirs live. Like, look at them just destroy me. Like, absolutely obliterate me. And I don't really know why. I've tried changing positions, I've tried all of the things, I've tried different units, but basically of my 5 PvP battles a day, I just die. I win 1 out of 5 basically, and that's it. The PvP really feels horrible, and it also shares precons type of PvP, which means you just stay at the same rank, and every time you get power, they get power basically. So it's basically never ending losing. I win 1 a day if I'm lucky. So this is frustrating to me. I definitely rate this really low, probably the worst part about the game for me. Next up, we have the Total Assault here, and I'm not sure if this is open right now. It's not open, unfortunately, but this is the raid boss. I really enjoy this. This is amazing. This is huge rewards. You can see different people's teams and everything, and you bring in multiple teams against a big boss. It's different animations, it's different settings, it's different all of the things, and you just use different units depending on what day it is, right? What raid boss it is. And you have to build units for it, and it's just a whole lot of fun. I really rank this really highly, and it's great. It's really great team composition and everything. She's so adorable. And then the story. The story is also fantastic. It's not one of those, it's gonna blow you away, there's twists and turns everywhere. It's just an amazing slice of lifestyle story where things are just fun. You know, they're fun, they're voiced, and they're just cute and interactive, and There's good and the bad. There's all of the things. It's great. The other thing too is they are not favoritism. They don't pick favorites, basically. All the girls get their time to shine depending on which one you like. It's not like, for example, Epic 7, where you never see like 90% of the characters, and if you do, they're just like, hi, bye. Here, they all have their own memories, they all have their own story, and they all work really well together. It's fantastic. And the other part that just, it kills me when games don't have this is the ability to watch the story whenever you want. So I can click into the story here, and I can go back and watch these whenever I want and read the story, listen to the story, all the stuff. So I'm not forced to do it when I unlock it, and I'm not forced to do it to progress and then feel bad about not having watched it. There's also sub-stories for each individual area. There's different like clubs they have. I'm not sure, like student council clubs, of course, that do different things, right? So this is really cool as well. They all have their story in here. And then there's replay for shared memories, which is stuff like your relationships, which we'll talk about in a second, tasks and stuff like this too. So this is everything. You can see all the story for the shops and everything. It's just amazing. This is something every game should have. 10 out of 10. Love this so much. And speaking of story, this is a character or a game that has a phone device that stresses me out because it's just like my Discord with all those red notifications. And you can talk to the girls here. I haven't read any of these yet. I read a bunch on my other account, but I haven't really got to these yet. But all of these, you can interact with them, say different things. They respond differently depending, and get relationship stories with them, which unlock different scenes, animations, background, stuff like that. It just unlocks a bunch of stuff, right? Like I could have Aru in a different view here, or I could have something like welcome sensei. Oh, speaking of sensei, or I could have something like this type of thing on the main area. And speaking of sensei, they really go one personalization step further and allow you to have them pronounce your name. So in cutscenes and stuff, they won't just say sensei or not say your name. They'll actually say your name, and you can personalize it as well, so it pronounces it the way you pronounce it, the way you want it pronounced too. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic, and this is something I hope to see in more gachas to come if you are a silent protagonist style person. As for the dailies, they're very easy to do. There's login bonuses as well here. These are just follow your dreams, you know, you get those done. And then we have a couple more areas. There's crafting, which I honestly haven't dove into too much, but basically you can start crafting here, pick a spot, and then you get to choose one of 6-ish things. So we have a node here for furniture. We can get tactical training, low-grade substances, cafe furniture. I personally really like the furniture, which we'll go to in a second. And then we just start crafting. And you can add more things on depending on what it is. We usually have about 2 hours of timer there. And then when you get pieces there, you can go to your cafe and design it however you want. Even the loading screens are fantastic, right? So this is my cafe area. Cafe Momo here. We've got a little thing. We've got a Valentine's thing. We've got some students here. And if you click on them, depending on if you have them or not, you can get friendship bonuses. You can also get different stuff depending on your comfort level here. And yeah, it's just kind of adorable. It's kind of adorable. And then we also have clubs, which are guilds. Right now, they are literally for nothing. So if you want to join a guild, join Mangoville right now, or club. Club ID 2711. I wish they added something to there. Bare minimum for guilds in this game. And then we have lessons as well. And lessons are something that are pretty cool. They don't really do much, but it helps you build relationships with your students. By the way, I didn't mention it, but you are a teacher in this game, basically. And as you do different lessons with different people, you unlock different areas and get rank up. So the Shale Residence Hall right now, we can click on here and do a lesson with these characters, and we'll get some tech notes and stuff like this. And then we unlocked a new zone here. and we unlock this zone. And there's 4 different areas depending on which club slash school they're from, right? Because there's different schools in this area here. So overall, pretty cool little thing. I'm really enjoying this as well. This is just like casual press buttons, but you know, casual press buttons is cute, especially when they have like the sounds, the voices, the animations, everything like that. We also have guide missions to start you off here. I think I just finished one because of that. That cleared all 7, which is great. Really happy about that there. And finally, let's talk about the shop. So the shop is a little lacking. There's the 2 packs here, the monthly pyroxene and the bi-monthly pyroxene packs. I bought both of these. I will not buy them after the first month, because I feel like after the first month is really when you get the bonuses from these, because you get the extra pyroxene, which is great. But honestly, I bought these because you get 2 of each types of those bounty tickets we talked about, and you get 1 of each type from this one as well. So that is great. Outside of that, the pyroxene is pretty expensive. It's $1,200 for a pull, so 1 pull is $15, $20, I think. I'm not sure. And the packs themselves are pretty bad. They have a guaranteed 3-star here and a 12 pull, which is $30. You know, for a global launch celebration pack, I really like them in the $9 to $15 range, so I won't be buying that. We also have the celebration pack here, which is 2 10 pulls almost, and some skill ups and stuff like this too. This is another one I don't really enjoy buying too much. It's really expensive for what it is. But the cool part is the game doesn't really make you feel bad, like feel like you're missing out, right? Because, you know, these aren't really good enough to buy, so I don't feel enticed to spend money in this game. I think I covered all of the things here, and I wanted to do it as concise as possible, and I think I accomplished that. So overall, let me just go through really quickly, just some quick numbers attached to the ratings and scores. So for the reroll process, just a too long didn't watch. I really think this is a 9 out of 10. I don't think there are many games better than it, and both for people who start out with what they want and then keep going, and people like me who reroll heavy. I think for people like me who reroll heavy, this is a 10 out of 10, and people like anybody else like Geister Fuchs, for example, who keeps whatever he gets, this is pretty close to 10 out of 10 as well, but not quite, because you don't get to pick. The PvE is very good. I would rate it maybe an 8 or a 9 right now in terms of the fun I'm having. Just the fact that if I don't want to play too much, it's done. I just hit skip. If I want to progress further in the story, I can manual it and sit down for a bit. If I want to have my girls perform a little better, I can manual. For all the other things, I can just hit the auto, and the little mini games within the stages also adds a little bit every now and then. If it was constant and you had to do it consistently, it would drive the fun down for me. Because you do it at your choice, at your will, it's definitely up there. Maybe an 8 for me right now for that. It would be higher if we had more things like the raid, but this game is brand new here in North America / global, so I'm not really too worried. For a starting release, I think it's pretty fantastic. PvP, I would literally rate it a 1 out of 10. The least fun I've had in PvP, and as long as I can remember, which is really sad. I really dislike this PvP. And as a side note, I really do like auto PvP. Games that have that auto where they just fight each other and you don't have to manual, there's no stress. I like those because the planning that goes into it is really worth it. But this just feels imbalanced in some way, and I cannot figure out why. Again, these are opinions, so you might have a very different opinion than me if you're one of those people slaughtering everybody. As for the gacha system, I would rate it maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10. I really dislike how long the pity is. I think the pity should maybe be 100 pulls or 120 pulls or something like that, because right as it is just, it's too hard to get characters, and this game is all about the characters, right? As for the characters themselves, I'd rate it a 10. I don't really see anything wrong with any of the characters except for Tsurugi in the bottom there, and the 1 stars and 2 stars are all usable in all of the areas, and you can pretty much use who you want, which is another fantastic point. I think the value in the shop is pretty close to maybe a 5 out of 10, and the only reason it gets that high is because of those 2 monthly packs being pretty good value for what they are. The maintenance and Apollo gems, pretty close to a 10 so far. We've been getting insane amount of stuff, so I'd probably say like a 7 or an 8 for that too. So I think I covered most of the stuff here, and I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to playing this game more with you, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.